Exercise 2A, page 68.
Hi, Susan. Sorry I'm so late, but I missed the bus and had to wait 15 minutes for the next one. I tried to call you, but your phone seems to be off.
It's not off, Brian. It's broken. I dropped it in the kitchen sink while I was doing the washing up last night.
Oh, no! When are you going to buy a new one?
I'm not sure. To be honest, I'm kind of enjoying life without a phone for now.
What do you mean? I wouldn't be able to survive without my phone. I use it all the time to keep in touch with my friends. Plus, since it's a smartphone, I use it to surf the net on the go.
But don't you sometimes get annoyed by all the texts and calls you receive? After all, most of the time they're not about anything important. Plus, it's quite expensive if you aren't careful.
But what about when someone needs to contact you? Or when you need to contact them? For example, how could you arrange to meet someone for a coffee without a phone?
Well, you could use email or your house phone, couldn't you? If you plan things a few days in advance, it's possible.
Still, you've got to say that mobile phones are useful in emergencies. When I sprained my ankle jogging in the park last month, there was no one around, so I used my phone to call my dad. Without it, I would have been in terrible trouble.
Yes, you've got a point. Anyway, have you bought the tickets for the film yet?
Yes, I did. It's an action film starring Colin Farrell.
Oh no, that's a reason I should get a new mobile phone, to stop you from buying tickets for bad films.
Six C, Exercise 1B, page 80.
Good morning, listeners, and welcome to the Food Show on FM 406. This is Bob Bernard, and today I'd like to talk about the topic of ready-made meals. They're also called TV dinners and can mostly be found in the frozen food section in supermarkets. Basically, they usually contain a frozen meal of meat and vegetables on a plastic tray with a plastic knife and fork. All you have to do is bring it home and heat it in a microwave or oven. For one, these meals are very convenient. People with busy lifestyles who don't have the time to cook can have a full meal ready to eat in minutes. But nowadays, more and more people buy ready-to-eat food and fewer cook their own meals. But are TV dinners just another form of unhealthy fast food? When food is frozen, it loses a lot of its taste. For this reason, TV dinners usually have lots of extra salt, and this is very bad for the health. Is it worth the convenience? Not to mention the fact that this convenience wipes out family meals. The lines are open now, so call in or text your views to 14655. We'll be back after this short commercial break.
Seven C, Exercise 1, page 94.
Welcome back to the show. I'm joined in the studio now by Mayor Tracy Potts, who is here to talk to us about graffiti in Hereford. Mayor Potts, how big a problem is graffiti in Hereford today?
Well, Victor, nowadays you can see graffiti throughout the town, especially on public buildings. But there is also graffiti on house walls, and recently the police even caught someone painting graffiti on a public work of art. The problem is getting out of control.
But is this problem any worse than in other towns in England?
If you look at the figures, it seems so. Hereford Town Council spends around £100,000 to clean up graffiti each year, which is twice the amount that neighbouring towns spend. And these towns are just as concerned with their appearance as we are.
I see. But surely there's something that can be done about this problem.
That's what I'd like to talk about today. Last month, I asked residents to email me with suggestions about how to solve this problem, and last night we held a meeting with the town council to look over them all.
So what suggestions do you plan to follow?
Well, firstly, we are going to ask shops in the town to stop supplying spray paints. Naturally, we are not able to ban shops from selling them, but hopefully shopkeepers will understand the problem and do what's best for the community.
That sounds like a good idea, but what about introducing heavy fines for people who are caught painting graffiti?
That was one suggestion, but since most of these people are teenagers, it's pointless to ask them to pay huge fines. People in Hereford just don't have that kind of cash. So instead we decided to build some walls near the community centre that teens will be allowed to paint graffiti on.
OK, but surely these walls will be covered with graffiti very quickly, maybe even within a week.
Well, our plan is to repaint these walls white every so often so that new graffiti can be added. We could repaint them every month or so, basically whenever the teens who use the walls decide. We're going to work closely with the community centre to make sure we find the best solution.
OK, we'll have a short break now, and when we return, we'll continue speaking to Mayor Potts.